Hi everyone and welcome to the webinar tonight. This is the Sustainable Teams Sustainable Scouting from Home webinar. My name is Anya, the Sustainability Support Officer in Scouting Ireland. The Sustainable team have been working really hard over the last few months to provide you programme on a plate to stay busy while scouting from home. Throughout the webinar, you will find out what the new programme is all about. If you have any questions, please make sure to make use of the Q&A feature throughout the session, and we'll answer a few questions towards the end of the webinar. I'd like to introduce you now to 36th Waterford T Bay Scout Group in Tramore, Waterford, Mihal, our Sustainable Team Lead.
How you doing? Thank you very much for that, Anya. I was going to say great to see such a good crowd here this evening, but I can't see any of you. But I know there's loads of you there, which is great. So as Anya was saying, I'm team lead for the Sustainable Scouting team. That was set up not quite a year ago, and it's made up of various volunteers, youth members and scouters from around the country. We'd only barely set up when the first lockdown kicked in. So if anybody knows about scouting over Zoom, we do. We've been at it for nearly a year now at this stage. When we started off, our aim was to try to bring sustainability more into mainstream scouting. It's already a major component of it, all the different scouting elements and leave no trace and all these things, but sustainability itself and the Sustainable Development Goals, which is a UN scheme as such. You'll hear us refer to the SDGs, that's the Sustainable Development Goals, and sometimes they're called the global goals as well. But it's all just one big framework of a more sustainable approach to the future. So this was our plan for the start. How are we going to do all of this? We got going, we got a survey out quite quickly, and a lot of you probably helped us with that. We had there was over 580 scouters replied to the survey, and we had over 600 youth members. And what they told us was very, very interesting. Lots of very, very useful information. But there was two key things for us to work from. The first was that our youth members are an amazing bunch of people. We knew that, but it's always nice to have a bit of documentary evidence to kind of prove it. But they showed how important sustainability is to them, how aware of it they are, and how they care about these issues. So that was the first thing. The second thing then wasn't a major surprise, but it was that there was quite a gap, particularly between the older sections and us scouters in terms of our knowledge and awareness of these issues. So no judgment there, is just a simple fact. We're just not as aware or tuned into the whole area of sustainability as the youth members are. So it just showed us that there was a number of things we needed to do. So we kept going on Zoom. We had our meetings every week. And we said, right, how do we help with all of this? How do we support leaders? What can we do for our scouters to enable them to engage with this without them having to go off and do a thesis on it or anything like that? And how can we support our youth members who are already aware about and passionate about these things, but maybe not getting enough of them through their scouting? So the team, we broke up and worked on different areas. Bernard, with the team support, came up with some excellent guides on how to run your den activities with sustainability in mind. The same for outdoor activities, hikes, planning for camps, getting youth members involved in planning for those things, and again bringing all the sustainability into it. Meanwhile, Sive and Rory worked away on an excellent youth leadership program. So they had put together weekend training sessions for our youth members to move them from kind of the strong awareness that they already had and turn them into sustainability activists within their own groups and counties and within their scouting communities, and to give them the skills and guidance and support to bring them on to the next level. And at the same time then, Adam and Anya were working away on looking after the scouters, trying to find ways to upskill them, breaking it up into bite-sized pieces, and where people can kind of pick and mix and find what's going to help them kind of just move on half a step in the right direction. So we're flying with all of these things nearly ready, and bang, lockdown again. we're back looking down the barrel of Zoom fatigue. You know, weeks and weeks of more Kahoot quizzes that it's getting harder and harder to come up with kind of useful, fun, interesting facts. Struggling to do badge work, kind of very, very difficult to be doing badge work online. And in my experience anyway, coming across lots of people who were wondering, will we start back at all? It's January, hard to know what way the rest of the year is looking, and you know, can't come up with lots of good stuff online. So you know, maybe will we bother at all? So that was the situation we found ourselves in, and as a team we said, right, let's park everything we're doing. That's all to do with kind of the face-to-face scouting, what we want to be doing. So let's see if we can find a solution for this particular situation that we're in at the moment. So that's what we're launching here this evening. So what it is, basically, it's a complete program. There's a wide range of activities. It's not just all creative stuff, or not all skills, or not all inventive, any of these things. It's a combination of them all. It will work for all sections, and I'll explain that a little bit more later on. It's done, a combination of being done online and in the Scouts' own time. And we're also conscious that because it's new to a lot of the Scouters, that we would provide training. So this evening would count as a little bit of training, but we're also going to run individual training sessions online for any Scouters who'd like to join us for a bit more explanation and answer some more questions. And then ongoing support. If we put together a program and just plonk it on the table in front of you and walk off, that's not much help to you at all. So we'll be there as a team, constantly in contact, asking you how it's going, getting suggestions from people, finding what's working well for groups and sharing that around, and being here to answer your questions. And also, because it's very important to Scouts, a badge framework, so that as well as there being a unique Sustainable Scouting 21 badge at the end of it, this stuff will also cover off a number of the special interest badges. It would cover off the International Messengers of Peace badge, and also for anybody doing Chief Scout Award, we know that quite a few of these activities will help towards that as well. So that's what we're trying to present to you this evening. So basically it comes down to this. We're hoping that this program will help you to keep your Scouts engaged and challenged, keep your Scouts dealing with issues that are they're current, they're important to them, they care about them. Keep your youth members scouting, which is the key thing. And yeah, did I mention the badge? Yeah, get them a badge. So this is really only to tide us over until we can get back scouting the way we want, which is back out on the mountains and under the stars. But in the meanwhile, this is available. In a few minutes now, Sive is going to go into a little bit more of an overview of the program. I'm going to then get into some of the detail of exactly the practicalities of where the resources are and how to use them. But before we do that, I'd like to hand you over to Scouting Ireland CEO Anne Griffin, who'd like to say a few words.
Good evening, and I'm sorry I can't see all of you. I know you can see me, so I hope you're still smiling and that you're really, really interested in finding out some more. I suppose I wanted to just maybe stop for a minute and let's just acknowledge that we've had a really, really difficult year. All of us were scouting from home in 2021, and it's hard, and I know it's been hard on everybody. We've been able to get out at various points and at various times during the last 11 months, but then bang, we're back into a full lockdown at the moment. So we really are working hard to support everybody in terms of getting information, programme information, and this is one very, very important aspect of the work that we're doing, and I'm delighted that we're bringing it to you today. So although we've had a year that's transformed, it's hindered, it's halted lots of the things that we do, it has meant that many groups and many Scouts are actually doing lots of different things in a way that we never thought was possible before, such as even having meetings like these. We're all still at home, but we're all still together. So it's not what we want, but it certainly is the better than nothing at all. And we're actually getting to do an awful lot of work. So while sustainability, like, what does it mean? It means a lot of different things to a lot of us. And I think that's part of what the research that this team has already done. So what we need to do is to see, well, what's our baseline? And our baseline on it is that this is really what Scouting is all about. And it's why Scouting is such a large global organisation. We have, our duty is to ourselves and to others, and to leave the world in a better place, to be creating a better world. And that's what Scouts do. So I think we need to, step into this place and own it, because we do it anyway, but let's remind ourselves, and this is what this programme does. So the work of the Sustainable team, it's a really, really important project team that's been set up through our open call system. And wow, what a great team we have. And when you see the work that they've done, and when you see the work that they're working on and will continue to provide, it's a real example of how the open call system works for us. We have a mixture here of adult and youth members, which again is great. This is what it's all about. It's about getting youth members involved in every aspect of our planning, our doing. It's what Scouting is all about. But again, what is sustainability within Scouting? Well, within Scouting and within the world, it's respecting people. It's protecting the world we live in, our planet. It's creating peaceful communities, striving towards prosperity, and working together and helping others and speaking for others who can't speak for themselves. The United Nations Sustainability Development Goals has very much put it out there. It's given us additional material. It's given us 17 global goals that we can all get behind. But what does that mean in any one of our days? Well, that's what this team have been working on, and they've actually developed something that will mean something for all of us, whether you're a cub, a beaver, a scout, a venture, a rover, whether you're a volunteer, an adult volunteer, a scouter, whether you're a staff member, whomever you are as a scout, this is something that we can all use. And Scouting Ireland is committed. We are committed. We always have been committed to sustainability. And now we have the SDGs. So this is something that we can fully get behind, and that we can support, and that we can live. So we mustn't forget our role. Our role is not just as Scouts. It is as active global citizens. We stand up and we speak for those who are most in need, wherever it is, be it at home, be it in your locality, be it in our national organisation. That's what we're here to do. So I hope that you will find the information that's available on the new website and this programme to achieve your badge and to move closer to what we can do even in lockdown. And really, again, in the words of Robert Baden-Powell, we must leave the world a little better than we found it. And that is part of what this programme is about. So I'm really, really delighted that we've got to a point where we're launching it. And I hope that you find it fun, because it is fun, but we're all going to learn an awful lot more. And I think our understanding over the next weeks and months of sustainability and what that really means in our lives is going to be far greater. And I hope I'll get the badge as well. So over to Sive, who's the next to speak. And Sive is from the 14th in Galway. So we have a real representation all around the country, and over to you.
So thanks for that, Anne. Hi, I'm Sive, and I'm going to be taking you through an overview of the resources. And just a reminder that there is a Q&A feature on Teams where you can put in any questions that you might have. So there are 5 pillars in the SDGs. These are people, planet, prosperity, and peace and partnerships, which I can assure you that you'll be hearing a lot of in the rest of this presentation. We have created 36 resource sheets, which are bunched into each of these pillars. And now for what you're all excited for is the new badge framework. We've come up with a Sustainable Scouting from Home badge for you to earn. In order to earn this badge and to complete the programme, 8 activity sheets must be completed, 2 from each pillar of people, 2 from prosperity, 2 from planet, 1 from peace, and 1 from partnerships. Those participating will have up until the 1st of June 2021 to complete all 8 sheets. This is all specified on the landing page of the Better World website, so you don't have to worry about memorizing it all now. Each sheet varies from 30 minutes to 1 hour to complete, and they are based on a plan, do, review approach, which is all included in the timing. Now, you may be wondering why these specific requirements. These resources are based on the pillars so that those participating will gain a wider and a more equally spread out knowledge of all areas of the SDGs, rather than it being confined to a single topic. For example, by the end of this programme, a Scout would be equally aware of issues surrounding poverty as they would be the importance of partnerships, instead of being confined to one area of climate action. This provides a wider knowledge and awareness of all aspects of the Sustainable Development Goals, which is what we hope to achieve as a team within Scouting Ireland. And of course, there is no limit to the amount of resources to complete. Once 8 sheets have been completed, we encourage youth members to go and delve deeper into the SDGs that they would like to learn more about. This programme is all about learning and new experiences. The badge is available for all members of Scouting Ireland. These resources are suitable for each section, from beavers right up until scouters. Accessibility is a main focus of the SDGs, and we wouldn't want any single member to be missing out on this opportunity. The activities are also extremely flexible and made to suit each individual at home. Your group can attempt to complete 1 a week, assigning it as a task in your weekly meeting. Alternatively, you could focus on 1 every 2 weeks. The option is completely up to those participating. There are no strict guidelines. Once 8 sheets are done by the 1st of June, they may receive the badge. The activity could be completed in a meeting if you wish, although we'd encourage disconnecting from technology and to become stuck into the task at hand. The activities can also be used for the environment and community involvement special interest badges. It can be difficult to earn badges when restricted at home, but these sheets provide safe activities that can be integrated into your other badge work. They can provide prompts for environmental projects the Scouts could undertake. These activities have endless possibilities and are extremely flexible. Allowing the time to get fully stuck into them provides more space for creativity and more space for learning. So, as a recap of what I've just thrown at you, we have created 36 sheets spreading across each pillars of people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnerships. 8 activities must be completed to earn the badge, with 2 from people, 2 from planet, 2 from prosperity, 1 from peace, and 1 from partnerships. Some can be done within a meeting, although we would encourage to disconnect from technology and become engaged with the wider world. We hope that this will allow you and your youth members to become motivated in tackling all areas of the SDGs, and that will help to inspire those of all ages. We are very excited to share these with you and hope that you are equally as excited to get back into Scouting and to learn something new. As a general overview, each sheet is split up into plan, do, and review sections to make it as simple to follow as possible. There are summaries on each side labelled as "in a nutshell", along with more ideas on how you can follow on with these projects. Currently, there is no sign-up or registering needed for this badge, which will be in place closer to the end of the scheme in early summer. Although, a form to sign up to our mailing list and take part in the general programme will be available on the Better World website. Once an activity is completed, we'd encourage you to share pictures and experiences on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can use the hashtag Sustainable Scouting from Home, SSFH, and you can also tag us at Scouting Ireland. We would absolutely love to see what creative ideas you come up with. And now I'll pass you back on to Michal, who will show you where to access these sheets and provide you with a few examples.
Okay, Sive, thank you very much for that. So, okay, folks, there's the overview now. Don't get bogged down in terms that are unfamiliar to you. Don't get worried about pillars and SDGs and all of that. It's all there on the website, so it's betterworld.ie. And I have no idea why we've got no www in front of it. I think there wasn't enough in the budget for a www. So you just type in betterworld.ie. And when you go in there, go to there's a green banner at the top, and there it says Sustainable Scouting at Home Programme and Activity Sheets. If you click on the program button, you'll get the full explanation. So everything Sive and myself are going through with you here, it's all there on the website. And then if you click on the activity sheets button, it will bring you to this page. So this is where we're going to look at first just where you get the activities, and then we're going to look through them quite just to look at the practicalities of doing it. Because I don't think you came here this evening for 30 minutes of theory. You want to get onto the bit kind of how am I going to do this? How do I make it work in my group? So just before we move on from this slide, you'll just see there's 3 of the resources on the screen. So the first 3, they're under the people pillar. And once we go into them, we're just going to pull up the next slide there now, and we look at one of the individual sheets, and we'll see exactly what it consists of. So each sheet, up in the top right, you can see the colored box. So this is for SDG 11. Just below that, you'll see a little section there called In a Nutshell, and this is basically all the sheets have the very same layout. So In a Nutshell is just a very brief explanation of what this activity is, and that's the bit you go to first, and you think about your youth members. Okay, is this going to suit them? Is this something they would enjoy? Is this something they can engage with? And if it's not, move on to the next one, find another one that's more suitable for them. But that just gives you a quick look at a quick overview of it. Back over then to the left-hand side, everyone is laid out the same in this plan, do, review approach. Now, the planning bit, this is done in a meeting. Obviously, you have a little look through it beforehand just to make sure you have your head around it. But the planning then is done in a meeting. So in your Zoom call, you're going through with the scouts and you're saying, look, here's the activity. This is what we are going to do. And the scouts will be involved in figuring how to do it. So they're going to help set the parameters. They might throw in some extra rules or extra guidelines or look for a bit of advice, and they figure how the activity is going to be done. Straight on to the do section, and this then is specific advice on how they can do the activity. So the example we're looking at here, this activity is called Design Transport of the Future. And this is about considering what transport might look like in the future, in this new sustainable future. And all the prompts are there to help them try to come up with stuff. So it's kind of, is it going to be individual vehicles? Are people going to own their own stuff? Or will a lot of it be public transport? Will it be in tubes? Will it be in the air? Will it be on the ground? Will people be in pods? What will be going on? And then you're starting to kind of bring in the sustainable elements. So things like, how will the transport of the future avoid having pollution? And then other elements like accessibility. This ideal future that we're all building towards, this sustainable future, anybody will be able to access transport regardless of number of legs or anything like that. There'll be no restrictions that will prevent people from using the public transport. So the scouts will consider elements like that. And as I said, pollution, accessibility, all these issues. So all the pointers are there in the do section. Finally, then we're on to the review. So this is the next time you're back together on your Zoom meeting and you're working through. The scouts are coming back. They're after drawing pictures. The beavers are after drawing lovely crayon stick men with jetpacks on them. And the ventures are after doing up CAD drawings of the feasibility of hyperloops without having to be in pods and God knows what else. But they'll all be coming back with something. They might be showing Lego models of what they've invented. Whatever it is, you have your discussion, people share on the screen, show what they've done, have a bit of a chat about what they imagine this future will be like. And some of them will be right, wait and see. And coming back over then to the right-hand side, you see the colored SDG wheel there again. And this is just kind of some background information. Every single sheet is tied in with one specific element of each of the goals. So each goal is broken down into lots of different elements and targets and aims. And all this is then is just a little explainer of why this activity is relevant, how it ties in with this wonderful future that we're headed towards. And you don't want to be beating the Scouts over the head with any of this stuff. You don't want to be weighing them down with the cares of the world or anything like that. But you do want them tuning into the different elements of sustainability. So you're popping that stuff in, and in your review, you're just checking in with them to see that they've taken that stuff into account. So that's pretty much how the sheets work, and every sheet is laid out in that same way. Almost every sheet, there's one or two sheets that mightn't be suitable for beavers, but you'll see that up in the top when it says kind of what section they're for. And but you adjust and adapt it, like within this sheet, that the same sheet will work for beavers up to ventures and rovers, because they each take out of it what they want themselves. These sheets aren't, they're not like Airfix instructions that you have to kind of, attach part Y to part Z and glue it together and job is done. It's much more it's much wider and more open than that for you to do with as you will and adapt it to your own particular bunch of Scouts. And the last thing I'd say, I just want to reiterate something that Saib was saying there, is when you're done, yes, tick the box, job done, that's that sheet done, but we would love to see you sharing these activities online. We would love to see them appearing on social media. It would be great to let parents see what the kids have been up to. If yours are anything like mine, they come home from an activities and how did you go on? Grand. What did you do? Nothing. What did you learn? Nothing. So this is an opportunity to present and share what the Scouts have been up to. And it's also a chance to encourage other people to take part, and also to show the wider community that in lockdown your Scouts aren't sort of sitting in front of Xboxes. They're getting on, they're coming up with new ideas, they're thinking about the future and taking concrete steps as well. A number of the activities involve taking concrete steps. And the last thing I'll say, steps just reminded me, I'm just looking at the little footprint on the screen there. The last section we have a follow-on section, and that's where you're after doing some activity with your youth members. They were really into it, and you go, okay, let's do some more on that. So there's some suggestions there on how you can follow on from that activity. Okay, look, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. We'll be answering questions. If people have any questions, pop them in there on hit the Q&A button and pop them in there. And I'm now going to, for a wrap up, I'm going to hand you over to Paul Delaney. And Paul is from the 9th 4th Malahide Sea Scouts, and he is also our team chair.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Micheál. We hope you have a clear picture of what the resources are, how they work, where to find them, and how to use them. The resources came about from a huge effort from the Sustainable Scouting team. I would like to thank the team members you did not meet tonight, whose hard work in the background helped to bring this program to life through workshops, ideation, build, and polishing this program. So thank you to Adam, Afric, Bernard, and Rory. I'm not forgetting Calum, who got this group off the ground a year ago. Thank you to Anya, Scouting Ireland Sustainability Support Officer, who is a valuable member of the team and produced tonight's webinar. James on tech support and Claire in comms both gave valuable support along the way. And of course, a massive thank you to Saib and Micheál, who took on the daunting challenge of explaining this program to an audience of several hundred this evening. The resources are the brainchild of Micheál and Adam. They had many late nights recently preparing and revising the sheets. A final thank you to Anne for positioning the importance of sustainability to Scouting Ireland. A takeaway is that sustainability is not an addition to our program, just a modification of how we do things. Thinking of new activities every week is always challenging. This has been made harder by lockdown, where we are limited to online meetings. Sustainable Scouting from Home is a ready-made program on a page that can be slotted into a Zoom agenda with a minimum effort. This program is for all members from Beavers to Scouters. The purpose is to create or grow awareness of the SDGs and their importance in life. The program might be suitable to troops who are struggling with engagement, or those preparing novel agendas to maintain engagement. Not all of us are blessed with Micheál or Adam's creative genius. It's great to get a bye-week when part of the program is prepared for us. Or troops who may not be in a position to return to normal scouting as restrictions ease because of a shortage of available scouters. Or troops where youth members have expressed an interest in an element of the SDGs, or in reverse, where a leader may want to share their passion for sustainability. Completing the program will take sustained effort. We want the youth members to feel their award has been earned. When they receive the badge at the end, they can be proud of their efforts. When they meet other scouts, the badge will be a talking point which can help spread awareness and enthusiasm for the SDGs. Our first step is to register online using our 1-minute form. A few short questions will help us to determine participation and to help us to improve program resources over time. The link was distributed by email in the Scouting Ireland newsletter yesterday on the 3rd of February. Towards the end of the program, we will use the email addresses from these registrations to check in with you on progress and determining who has achieved the award. Of course, you can use the resources without registering. So moving on, the resources are on the Better World website and the link is on the screen. If you have questions along the way, we will be there to support you. Use the email address sustainability@scouts.ie, or use that email to give us feedback on how we can improve the program for the future. Use the hashtags to let us know how you are getting along. It would be great to see some evidence of how these projects have materialized. So Micheál mentioned advice sessions to offer guidance on how to use the resources. To give everyone the opportunity to attend, the same session will be run 3 times next week at 7 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Please come along to any one of the sessions. All the links, email addresses, hashtags, and a link to the advice sessions will be in a post-launch email sent out tomorrow. A final thank you to everyone who attended this evening, from the board, Scouting Ireland staff, all the ventures, rovers, scouts, scouters. And all I can say now is, let's get started. So there's a little bit of time for a few questions that we've gathered along the way. I'll hand you back to Micheál.
Thank you very much, Paul. Okay, folks, we're here 35 minutes at this stage, so we're not going to keep you very much longer at all. We just want to be sure that if anybody has any pressing questions, that we don't leave you home without answering them. A couple of things that have come into us there. One question is in relation to when you're choosing activities. So as we showed you there, that there's 36 different activities you can pick from, and how to choose what's most suitable. Certainly for the younger sections, I would be leaving it up to the scouters. You take a look down through, pull them up on the screen, have a look, and think some bunches of beavers and cubs are very creative and imaginative. Others might be better at more practical stuff. Just have a look at your own gang and have a look at the resources and pick out the ones that are most likely to suit them. When you're coming to the older sections, then in the same way as with all elements of program, where as they get older, you're giving them more control and letting them direct things more. So maybe for the older sections, you're just showing on the website and saying, pick the activities there, and you come back and we'll do them one by one. And once you're into sort of ventures and rovers, there's a good chance that they're going to be self-guided on stuff like that. and they might need the Ventures might need a scouter just to register them at the end or something like that, but they should be well able to go through themselves and find stuff that's of interest and challenging themselves. Another question that came in then was just in relation to whether registering and whether posting stuff online is a requirement. It's not a requirement. This program isn't about putting in a whole framework of restrictions and structures and all of that. This is about getting the scouts back scouting. That's what this is about. And we've only put in the sort of the whole badge framework and all of that around it just to bring in some extra elements that might make it more appealing to people. But basically, this is a whole list of different types of activity that will help fill the time and help keep scouts scouting. So when it comes to the end, if coming to the 1st of June, you've got 10 scouts that are after carrying through all these activities, and you didn't post a single thing up on Facebook, none of that matters. It's that you were scouting. That's basically what it comes down to. And I'm just looking, another question just popped in there. What does the badge look like? So the badge is on the left-hand side, you have the SDG wheel. On the right-hand side, you have the map of Ireland. And in the middle, it just says Sustainable Scouting 21. It was on one of the first slides there, but you can see it. You can see it on the website. Plug in the website again, betterworld.ie, so you can see the badge there. But look, it's a badge. It's a unique badge that you can only get once ever in the whole world, and that's by following through this program when we're in this bizarre time of lockdown. So you can go on and see that on the website. Okay, and there, just as a reminder, the website was just popping back up. There we are. There's the badge. Now there's an apostrophe there that, again, in cutbacks we've had to take out the apostrophe, but the final badge will just be Sustainable Scouting from Home 21, and at a glance, in years to come, people around the world will be looking at that and wondering what it's about. So you'll be able to explain it all to them then. Folks, I'm not seeing any more questions popping in there, but as Paul has already said, if people do have questions, send them in to us. Our email address is on the website. Also, we will be sending out a mailing tomorrow, and that will go to everybody who attended here this evening. It'll have all of the links, and it will also have links to the 3 training sessions next week. You can attend any one of them if you want to, or get people who couldn't make it along this evening to come along. There'll be short sessions. It's basically running through the activities again, but after people have had a chance to digest it a little bit, they can ask a few questions, and there'll be smaller sessions so we can kind of chat things through a little bit more. 20 minutes, half an hour. So that'll be on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. We just want to make sure that anybody who would like to find out more about this can do it. And then as things go on over the coming months, we're going to add in more resources. So if we discover that there's lots of beavers taking part, we'll try to come up with some more resources that will meet their needs. Or if people are saying, we're a lot of interest in the planet end of things, could we add some more activities there? We'll respond to all of that, and we'll try to see anything else we can do to help and support you. So folks, I think we're going to wrap it up now with that. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming out this evening. Thank you for staying at home this evening and joining us on the computer. It was lovely to have you all. We've actually had a very big crowd. There's been nearly 200 people along here this evening, which is great because it shows that there's an interest in the sustainability. It also shows there's an interest in keeping the scouting going and doing our best for the youth members, which we do every day of the year anyway. So thank you all very much. Thank you again to all of our speakers, all of our team. Thank you to Anne Griffin for joining us as well. And all of these standard things, I was going to say safe home, you're probably there already, but we'll see you again soon, and thank you all very, very much.